Hey guys, what's up? It's Alex here. Welcome to an F1 2018 game review. So, yeah, I've had this game for nearly a week now. I haven't played as much of it as I'd like. I've been pretty busy all over the place. I'm actually recording this as I'm on holiday, but I wanted to make sure I get this video online for you guys. So, yeah, as I said, I haven't played as much as I'd like, but I did make sure I looked at other people's review, understood where they were coming from, and I wanted to give as balanced review as possible. Because of course, when you get given a game, of course, you're always maybe going to be a little bit biased in that way. So I want to try and make sure this is unbiased as possible. So of course, F1 2018 made by Codemasters, who have made all of the last 8 or 9 Formula 1 games, and they genuinely have been pretty much getting better and better each year. Of course, there are a couple of years where certain things were taken out, other years where they were put back in, and I think 2018 marks, I guess, a step up in a lot of the stuff, which I think we've all been asking for. So, I guess we'll start off with career mode, because I guess that's what a lot of people are interested about. And obviously there's a huge expansion on this, so the R&D, for example, is massively improved over the previous year's games. Stuff just going even finer details, and that means in a way you've got to really focus on what sort of way you want to go, what sort of area of the car you want to develop. You want to focus on that really early on, look at the possible upgrades that are later down the line, because you don't want to start developing something that might not be as useful towards the end of the season, for example. So you've got to just keep an eye out and look at where the development could be going, and the R&D is just massively overhauled for this season, much more in depth, something that definitely some of the beta testers, I remember bringing up last year, something that we all sort of wanted was a little bit more in depth in that regard. So it was great that they actually took on board a lot of our advice on that one, and that's going forward into 2018, which obviously should make it a bit more of an interesting experience for you guys. So it's really interesting, or awesome actually, to be involved in that sort of small decision that we all sort of wanted that to be involved from F1 2017 when we played that last year. So the big thing that F1 2018 really asks is whether you want to be a sportsman or a showman, because back in 2018, after many years out, I think even since 2011, I think it's been a long time since we had interviews in the game. So I've read a couple of reviews on this, and they seem to sort of bash the interviews, saying, well, what's the point? They just seem to be cluttering up this game, which doesn't need it. And I couldn't disagree more, to be perfectly honest, because one of the best moments of 2010 and 2011 were these interviews and changing your character and making it more personal, because it's so easy nowadays to make a game and just not have any sort of personability, whatever, to it. You know, you feel a bit sort of distanced from the game in a way. You distance from the career mode character, but when you answer these questions from the press, you become a lot more like the person that you're driving. And of course, not all of us are blessed to be the super talented drivers that are in Formula 1 or even the esports guys, but what this game enables you to be is sort of as close to a Formula 1 driver if you want, as you want to be. So that's something I really like, the interviews and the whole press, and whether you want to be that out there guy or whether you want to be the guy that's sort of humbled in the team and trying to keep everyone together. It's really interesting how that's all playing out, and I have been doing a bit of a career mode, but I have decided not to post it as of yet. I might do another career mode on YouTube. I see a couple of people asking in the comment section, asking why there isn't a career mode. I personally thought you might not want one, but judging by the comments, maybe you do. Just leave a comment down below whether you would like to see a career mode on F1 2018 going up on the channel, but it won't be up until probably Thursday at the earliest, because I'm not back in the United Kingdom until Thursday. So yeah, I think that if you do really want one, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, the career mode, it just seems to be a bit more in depth in the regards of racing as well. Obviously all the teams and the drivers are the same as real life. That's the most important thing. Obviously, it'd be very disappointing if they weren't. It's come a long way since the 90s when some certain teams and drivers didn't want to be in their game. But just going out there and driving just feels a lot more intuitive in a way. I think the R&D system just doesn't seem as painful. I've seen, well, obviously the little bit that I've played in career mode, I used to get really frustrated last year, and the years before it, the R&D, it just really started to annoy me after a time. But so far it seems to be a little bit more slick, and it doesn't seem to be as frustrating to get through all the tests. And I started off with Renault, I think, in the one I'm doing offline, not doing on YouTube, and I'm just really enjoying it so far. And I would like to maybe do one on YouTube. Of course, you got to let me in the comment section down below whether you would like to see one of those in the future. So if I was to say one or two things, it would be those two really, about the career mode, and if that's the main two things you should be focusing on if you are interested in seeing those upgrades. I'd say it's definitely an improvement over 2017. The R&D system and the interviews and the press and the character that you sort of are, the personalised character you are, that's been massively improved in this game. So I guess that's it for career mode. Other than that, obviously it's pretty similar. You can't evolve career mode massively year on year, like a yearly release game. You can't have massive new features each year, but they've done a fantastic job. As for classic cars, that's something that obviously they've decided to keep going with in 2018, and they've actually decided to add even more cars into the game. I think maybe most notably for myself and some of maybe the younger viewers, the 2009 Brawn is a car that I think all of us really wanted to see in the game last year. So many people asked for it. Literally every comment section I saw on last year's videos and their videos and all that sort of stuff was, where's the Brawn, where's the Brawn, where's the Brawn, and they finally got that in. And they also got in the 2003 Williams, which I think is a really nice addition as well. That really matches up quite closely to the 2004 Ferrari, and I've already shown you on this channel some really interesting footage, a bit of a battle between them. So I think some good races can be had with all the new classic cars, including some 70s and 80s cars as well. So we're going even earlier into Formula One's history. Maybe we could even see in 2019, if they continue on with the classic cars, maybe we could even see some 50s and 60s cars. I think that would be really, really interesting. Personally, I've really enjoyed driving the classic car so far. As I've already said, I haven't played as much of this game as I would liked. I would have definitely liked to put a few more hours in, but unfortunately I've just been pretty busy, which is a bit annoying, but at the same time obviously good because I'm out there doing stuff. And F1 gaming, I guess I didn't really know whether I was even going to post F1 gaming videos, so to be perfectly honest, it's all a bit of a surprise to me how the support is and all that sort of stuff. So classic cars, I say really good. I think if you pre-order it, I think obviously there'll still be just enough time to pre-order it. You'll get those new cars, the 2003 Williams and the 2009 Brawn. Apart from that, if you don't pre-order it, you get on release day, I think you might still get those cars, but you'll definitely get all the rest of the classic cars, the other classic cars, all in for everyone else. So that's really good. As for online, that's something that's been massively improved for this game as well. I guess that's more me saying it rather than testing it, because I haven't really been had the chance to, because obviously not many people are online, because only a few people have had review codes. But I'd say that the way they've done it now, that there's sort of tiers and the way that you sort of rank up, and basically you want to avoid the noobs, and if you get out of those first maybe 10-15 races, you'll avoid the noobs, and you might have to get in races where they're constantly crashing into the back of you every race. So they finally done that. I think it was a long time coming. We were all really annoyed for so many years racing online on sprint mode, because it was inevitable. One every 3 races you're going to get involved in like a lap 1 crash, and it's just so infuriating. So they've now spent the time to go out there and develop a system for online, meaning that it's less likely it's going to happen. Of course it will still happen now and again. There'll always still be one oddball who wants to go and just destroy everyone's race for no good reason, but that's just the thing with online gaming. It's just good they made that step to go ahead and put I guess sort of a ranking system and a proper ranking system. So once you level up, basically you'll get out of the way of the noobs, and you don't have to be involved with them for too much longer, which is good. And yeah, that's a massive thing for me, because the online's been something that's been weak, I'd say, for quite a few years, and I'm really interested to see how the F1 esports thing all goes. Hopefully, fingers crossed, there's less issues than there was last year, because obviously we had issues in the Abu Dhabi final, which is gutting for the guys that it happened to, and obviously it shouldn't happen. That's very disappointing that that's happening in an esports final. So fingers crossed that is all fixed. We don't want to see any of that in the final once again, and I think the online in general will be better this year, and hopefully it improves just the general standard of driving in F1 2018. The fact that the ranking system is there, and maybe it just pushes people to go out there and just try and improve their self, really, and just not purposely turn into that crash guy, because he's not really good at the game. Go out there, learn the game a bit more, and it would be so much more fun for everyone involved. Something I've really got to say about F1 2018 is I've enjoyed racing the AI so much, and this is in classic cars, single player races, and also obviously in career mode as well, where you're starting off with cars from the start of the 2018 season in a way. But whatever race I seem to go into, I seem to have a pretty interesting battle. You definitely saw that in the classic car gameplay I uploaded. That was one of my favourite races I've ever done. That was just so much fun. And of course, I know I'm not the best driver in the world. I've never said I'm the best driver in the world. But some people think just because you've got a YouTube channel and for some reason 53,000 people subscribe to me, they think that I'm good. Obviously, I'm not the best driver in the world. I just enjoy racing games. So, yeah, I just generally think that the wheel-to-wheel racing has improved so much with the AI, because it's something in the past. It got much better in 17 especially, but before that, you're lucky if you had a really good battle with an AI. But now it's getting closer and closer to having a genuine battle with a human, so it's getting much better, and that's one of the big factors I'd say about this game, is finally you can do sort of single player races and actually have a bit of fun. So a lot of the time it's sort of just quite repetitive. And nowadays, in F1 2018, it's really like you don't know what's going to happen. So you've always got to have your wits about you and always got to be on the edge for something happening. So that's something that's been fantastically improved in 2018. Something actually I forgot to mention in the career mode part, which I probably should, is the evolution of the rules and regulations. So in that career mode, you will have the opportunity to, I think, just see the evolution of the rules changing, the regulations changing, which could mean suddenly there's a bit of a reset in the field. Suddenly someone like Force India could go to the front, maybe Mercedes could drop back to the midfield, maybe someone like a Sauber could, you know, suddenly start competing for podiums. That's something you definitely got to watch out for in your career mode as well, and I apologise for not putting that in the career mode segment, but it's something I just remembered off the top of my head. It's something that really is going to evolve over the years, so you could stick with a team, evolve it for a few years, and then suddenly be at the back again. Of course, it's unlikely it's going to happen. You're not going to lose that many places in a sort of a, I guess, an evolution in the rules cycle, but you possibly could go from the best car to the fourth car. You possibly could go from having the fifth car to the second best car. That's the way it goes. So you could suddenly go from struggling to get points to battling for a championship. That's just how the evolution of the rule changes, the rule cycle goes. So in general, I think that's something that's really interesting. In general, I guess it's an evolution on F1 2017. It's hard to go out there and state 20 brand new things for this game, because that's just not possible in a yearly release to come out with 20 brand new things. So, and you might pick it up and be like, well, this feels like 2017, and you can't be right in a way, because let's be honest, it is basically 2017, but just a much more improved, evolved version of it. So don't be angry when you first play it and you might think that this is exactly the same as 2017, because you just got to get a bit further into the career mode, especially evolve your car, get into the rule change cycles, you know, develop your character, and it will all start to feel a little bit different. But in the early stages, maybe if you do a single race in F1 2018 cars, it might feel pretty similar to 2017, but in reality you just got to play a bit more and it all starts to become a little bit more new and a bit more fresh and exciting. And for people wondering, the halo is not much of an issue. I've played in cockpit cam, played in T-cam, and they're the sort of the main two that it would affect, and in all honesty it doesn't really make much of a difference. But as always, I think F1 2018 by Codemasters is a great addition to the series. Of course, you're always left wanting more. I guess for someone like me, I would still like it to be a little bit more realistic in terms of the physics. I still feel like it's a little bit maybe arcadey on that side. I feel like the physics, whilst are still improved, I'm not saying they're bad in any way, they're still improved over 2017, but I still feel they can push it a bit further and make it a little bit more realistic. But that's just my personal opinion. Maybe someone would disagree with that. And I understand they're trying to cater towards a big audience, so at the end of the day, if you make it too realistic, it might be a bit too much. And yeah, obviously they got the evolution of something like the ERS and being able to manually control that. That's something that is really interesting, that you can now do that yourself. It's not just done by the game. You can still leave it to be done by the game, like I have so far, but you can do it manually, which obviously makes it a little bit more interesting, a little bit more thought-provoking whilst you're racing around. Of course, you've got some new tracks, or bringing back some old tracks like Hockenheim. We've got Paul Ricard in there as well. Overall, this game is definitely an improvement over F1 2017, and I don't want to say in any way whatsoever that it's a downgrade, because what am I trying to say? In all honesty, I can't really think of any way it's a downgrade on F1 2017. It's definitely quite similar in a lot of ways, but then in some ways, like the career mode is definitely much improved. The online looks like it's going to be improved as well. and just the wheel-to-wheel racing seems to be much better than it has been in the past. And I'd say something like the ability to control the ERS is a big improvement, even though it's probably only a small thing to some people. So in general, I'm really happy with the game so far. Of course, when you play the game more and more and more, you'll start to feel differently about it, so maybe I'll have a different opinion maybe in a month, and that's just the way it goes. But yeah, I think if I had to give it a rating out of 10, it always seems like a cop-out, but I'd give it an 8 out of 10, because genuinely it's improved over the last year, but I still think there are a couple of features here and there that we'd all maybe like a little bit more of, and for me that'd be the physics. I know for some people that online they want that to go even further, some people want the career mode to go even further. Of course there are still going to be things that maybe some people don't really gel with, but in general I'd say definitely it's an improved game over last year, and I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It's a solid game, and I definitely advise picking it up if you are in the market for the Formula 1 game. And yeah, I thought I'd do this review. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, feedback, anything, leave it in the comment section down below. As always, I'm sure I forgot something here and there that's probably vitally important, so please just leave a comment and I'll get back to you, and I will give you my honest opinion on it. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys around soon. It's Max Marty. Goodbye.